Hi, and thanks for tuning in. I am hoping that this video will literally change your life. I hope that this video will give you steps to really take your game to the next level. Before we get into it, I want to thank everybody for the outpouring of love, the cards, the emails, the texts, the calls. It was really quite overwhelming. I lost my mom a couple of weeks ago, and you guys responded. Wow, I'm just really, really touched. I have to tell you, if you've never buried a parent, I'm going to make the recommendation to wait about 700,000 years. And if you have buried a parent, then you know exactly what the drill is, and it ain't pretty. This was a lot harder than I thought it was ever going to be. The good part is that she was sick for a pretty long time, and she got to check out before the pain set in. So that's the only saving grace for me. But each day is getting better and better. And again, thank you everybody again for that outpouring of love. If you have not watched The Last Dance, the Michael Jordan story on Netflix, do yourself a favor and do it. It was really a game changer for me when I saw it, I don't know, a couple of months back. But I want to share a couple of things for you. Let me see a show of hands. How many people out there do their best? Come on, let me see a show of hands. Cool. If you're taking notes, write this down. Do not do your best. Do whatever it takes! Exclamation point. Why do I say that? So there are 4 motivators that all of us have. Money, relationships or love, status, and freedom. And we can call freedom to work from anywhere, freedom to travel, etc. In order to figure out which your motivator is, take that list, and whatever will piss you off the most, whatever will drive you absolutely crazy, that's your motivator. For Jordan, his motivator was status. I used to think that my motivator was money, but it's not. It's status also, and I'll show you how and why in a second. So the first thing you want to do is take that list, money, relationships, or love, status, and freedom, and figure out which will piss you off the most. Now let me show you how this works. Jordan wanted to be the best. Period. End of story. He wanted to dominate the court. He wanted to go down in history as the greatest player. And in order to do that, he had to do whatever it took. You see, Jordan hated to lose more than he loved to win. I know that sounds crazy, but it was true. So what would happen is if he lost the game, he was no longer the best. That dinged him terribly. So what he would do is if he had to practice his layups for 24 hours straight, guess what he did? He practiced his layups. If he had to pump iron for 15 hours, he did that too. Whatever he had to do, he did. What was the give back to that? Well, he lives in an ivory tower. He's a multi-billionaire. That's with a B. And he will forever be in the history books as either the greatest basketball player that has ever lived or certainly one of the greats. Again, that may not float your boat, but it did for him. And for you to achieve your goals, whatever they may be, this may be a really, really good piece for you. You see, I have clients all the time that are telling me, Paul, I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best. And when I teach them this, to do whatever it takes, all of a sudden, a lot of them have a pretty life-changing experience. I'll give you an example for myself. I used to think that money was my motivator, but I've since found out that it is status. You see, I want to be the best. I want to be the best business development expert out there. So how do I achieve that? Well, I have to do differently than just doing my best. I'll give you an example. On February 16th, that's the day my mom passed. At 8:30 in the morning, my dad called me. And he said, I don't think Mommy's breathing. I was like, what? So he's up in New York. I'm down in Florida. And I got on the other line, called hospice, had them come. And I didn't let my dad off the phone the entire time. Hospice came. They pronounced her. And again, I didn't let him off the phone. He was all alone. So at 11 o'clock, I had an appointment from a long-standing client who had booked some extra time with me. They needed some help. So I gave the phone to my wife, and I said, Mary, stay with my dad. Don't let him off the phone. She said, where are you going? I said, I'm going to take a call. She said, okay. So I took the call, and it was a long-term client. I mean, they've been with me for probably 6 or 7 years. As soon as I got on the phone, they said, Paul, what's wrong? I said, nothing. They said, Paul, what's wrong? And I broke down and told him that I just lost my mom. And he said, hey, listen, no problem. Let's do this call another time, whenever you're ready, whenever you're able. No problem. I said, no, we're going to do the call. He said, Paul, seriously, we don't have to do the call. I said, listen, just give me 5 minutes. Let me get myself together here, and I'll call you back. So I called him back in 5 minutes, and he said, Paul, seriously, we don't have to do this call. And I said, no, we're going to do it, and I'm going to do a really great call for you. So we were on the phone for about a half hour, 45 minutes, and when we ended the call, he said, wow, that was like one of the greatest calls we've ever had. I said, okay, should I put in to have my mom die again next week? Chuckle, chuckle. He laughed, and that was it. So when I got back, I took the phone back from my wife. She said, what are you doing? I said, what do you mean, what am I doing? She said, well, why did you take the call? I mean, your mom just passed. I said, because the client needed me. She said, but you would have gotten a pass. I said, of course I would have gotten a pass. I said, Mary, that would have been doing my best. Anybody would have given me out of that call, not a problem. I said, but for me, I do whatever it takes. And the reason I do whatever it takes is because if somebody needs me, they're going to get me. You see, my clients know that I would take a bullet for them, and I would give them a kidney all in the same day. Period, end of story. My clients text me at 10 or 11 o'clock at night, they get a response. That's just the way I operate. Now, I'm not making a judgment here, and I'm not bragging to you, and I'm not asking for an attaboy. I'm just telling you this is what I do in order so I can be the best at what I do. Just like Jordan, okay, I'd like to be the best in this field. So what you need to do is to write down those motivators, find out what will hurt you the most, okay, what's going to piss you off the most, and then do whatever it takes. That's the key here. Do whatever it takes. When you choose to do whatever it takes, all of your dreams, all of your goals, they will come to fruition. You will live a much higher quality life. You will be happier than you've ever thought, and life gets a whole lot easier. So if you're doing your best, I hope that this video motivates you to do whatever it takes. Thank you for tuning in, and again, thank you for your heartfelt condolences over the last couple of weeks. If there's anything that I could do to help any one of you, any one of my readers, anybody, let me know. I'm always available to help. Thanks again for tuning in. Make it a great day. Bye-bye.